Today I am giving a further review of the dramas and the animes that I'm currently watching. So the first one I want to talk about is The Invisible Man and His Soon-to-Be Wife. This one, I really enjoy the main characters. The premise, I guess, or the best way to describe the beginning is that it's an invisible man that is a detective, and the secretary is a blind young woman. So she's in her 20s, late 20s, and he, the invisible man, is in his late 20s, early 30s. But basically, they are working together, and she is growing more and more interested in what he's doing, and starts to recognize that she does have some feelings for him, and he's recognizing that he has feelings for her. They live and work in a small Japanese town, and they again are detectives. Now this world is built in a way that there's multiple mythical creatures. So there's humans, there are invisible people, there are people that are half person, half animal, lots of diversity in that sense. And he is one of the only detectives in this town. They slowly get closer and closer, and now I am later in the episodes, so I believe they at this point have been on several dates, and they are getting closer and closer and have established their relationship. So I assume that he's probably going to propose to her soon. So I really enjoy that one. The other one that I'm watching is Tamons-B Side, and that one is a take on idol groups. And Tamon, the main lead, is a part of the group called Face. And there is the female lead, and she is Tamon's number one fan, but she is really respectful of what her boundaries look like, in the sense of not wanting to overstep those boundaries. She does find herself in a predicament though, where she gets assigned to be a housekeeper, and she ends up being Tamon's housekeeper. And again, it is just the premise of you never know what an idol, a K-pop idol, is actually like outside of their idol group. And in this we find that he is very different than his persona in that group, and really just looking at the adventures of it and further understanding that despite popularity, you know, idol groups are people too, idols are people too. These are real people that have real lives and real personalities outside of their singing and their dancing. So they do develop a relationship, and that is growing, but they are both very respectful of each other. And the rest of the group is similar in the sense of they are not exactly like how they present. So she is kind of engulfed in that world now. And then the other anime that I'm watching is Sign of Affection, and this one is about a girl that is deaf, so she cannot hear. She's college age or older, and it basically follows her on her journey of meeting new people. She has met this guy very distinctly. He has a tattoo on his hand, more so on his fingers, and that is one of the distinguishing factors for her, to know that he's around. They are developing a relationship, and it's the ups and downs of adult relationships, adult friendships, and really working through diversity. So I will say, especially with this one and The Invisible Man and his soon to be wife, looking at deafness, looking at blindness, and really seeing how, despite difficulty, these characters can live a life that's fulfilling. And then on to the dramas that I'm watching. So in a previous video, I talked about what the names of those dramas were, but I'm gonna go a little more in depth without giving too many spoilers away. But the first drama I will start with is A Dream Within a Dream. Now, the main female lead, she is an actress, and same with the main male lead. He's also an actor, but she gets swept into the reality of the script, not the reality of what's true reality. And it is a historical Korean drama. Oh, historical Chinese drama. Sorry. It is a C drama. It's a C drama. I have a lot that I'm watching, so. And yeah, it's a historical Chinese drama, and basically she's working her way through what this storyline is, and it just really rides on the assumptions that, you know, is fate inevitable? Are the things that are laid before us inevitable, or can those be changed? And there's love, there's heartache, there's fighting, there is war, there is complicated family relationships, complicated human relationships, and it's something that I'm very much enjoying. I'm watching this with a friend, and it has 40 episodes, and I believe we're on episode 32 at this point, so we are getting closer to the end, but lots and lots still to happen, and it definitely has me squealing and giggling and crying throughout it. And then the other ones that I'm watching are Marry My Husband is one that I'm watching. So that is a K-drama, and with that, it follows along the storylines of the main female lead. She finds out that her husband is cheating on her with her best friend, and without giving too much away, there is a scene that happens at the beginning that causes her to inevitably pass away, but she is able to go back in time, and she's set to go back in time 10 years prior to when this incident happened. And basically she's working her way to either change her fate, or at least hopefully not make it as severe as it ends up in her reality that was that 10 years later. So that's been an interesting story. Lots of drama, lots of choosing how you're going to live your life, and if you're willing to put up with something when you know the information of what will or could happen. So I'm really loving that. And then the next one that I'm watching is Siren Kiss. Or Siren Kiss. And that is a drama as well. And there's a detective involved, an insurance fraud detective, art collectors, all of that, and a very interesting dynamic of finding out who murdered who. What is all this death around the main lead? Does it have to be that way? What is her backstory? So it's pretty intense. And then I have, let me see, Sudden Marriage is another one that I've been watching, and that's a Japanese drama. And again, similarly, the main lead, is being cheated on by her boyfriend. She works at a company and her boyfriend works at that company, and so she's cheated on by him, and she gets so sad and goes into a bar one night and is sitting at the bar alone originally and starts drinking, and then this guy, who is inevitably or seemingly a stranger, comes up to her. They're chatting, everything, and she gets drunk and he's drunk, and they're just spilling their whole lives to one another. And in the next episode, or I believe it's maybe the end of the first episode, we find out that they actually got married. So they got married, they signed paperwork, and then she finds out the next day that her now husband is her new boss. So all of those dynamics, and recently I found out more of the story and that he wasn't really a stranger to her. So that is a lovely one. And then I'm watching King of the Land. So King of the Land is another K-drama. I'm really enjoying that as well. And the main vibe of it is that the main female lead, she is known for her smile, and he, as one of the family members involved in owning the hotel chains that she inevitably works at, he despises people who smile. But what we find is that her smile and her presence and the interactions that they have is going to lead them into falling in love, I believe. So I think that's all of the dramas that I'm currently watching, and I'm really enjoying them. I have a couple more on my list that I plan to watch. I know that these weren't the best descriptions of these dramas, but again, I just wanted to give some insight without giving too much away. And yeah, I would just encourage all of you to try new things to watch. Try dramas that you typically wouldn't watch. I will say that I find Asian dramas to be a lot easier to pay attention to because there is such a slowness in them. And of course, we all love a fast-paced scene where maybe they're kissing at the first episode, but a lot of these are not like that. And so I think that it really gives you a chance to engulf yourself in the story and really make sure that your attention span is focused, is slow. And these are those types of shows that will make you laugh, will make you cry, will make you plead with the main characters, with the side characters. And I just find them to be such a delight.